diversity is going to help usher in new ancillary businesses. Can it?
Like even what you were talking about with like the bees and the shrubs, like you said, they're only in. Do you think like they're gonna start flying in these resources from different areas so that you can?
Well, more people are going to be aware of the DIMI certification and Dr. Bonner's Sun to Earth certifications. These are organic cannabis farms on steroids. So you adhere to the land and never take away from it, right? When the furthest east is Michigan, my friend Nick Risden is the owner of Risden Farms. He's the furthest east with the DIMI certification cannabis farm. Once people are aware of people that are bringing organic cannabis to them, and once you've smoked organic cannabis, right, you're not going back. You're going to smell the chems. You're going to taste the chems.
Yeah.
And education is the key. I believe that like education is the only thing that's going to break the stigma is through information. So if we share the information alone, all right, or we keep it to ourselves without sharing, and this is a unifier, right, the plant itself. So why wouldn't you share it amongst the people that you enjoy the plant with?
So with that said, top 5 facts that you think people are not aware of about cannabis. Most interesting things. 5 things that you think people do not know about cannabis. Or hemp.
Hemp.
Yeah.
The reason in which cannabis is outlawed is because of hemp, not cannabis. And it's 30,000 usages of the plant. That's why.
That's 2 right there.
Eli Lilly, William Randolph Hearst, and the DuPont family is the reason in which why they brought forth the Marijuana Tax Act and brought forth what you know as reefer madness. William Randolph Hearst was a paper mogul of the West. Eli Lilly is a pharmaceutical mogul of the East. And in order for paper to be processed, it needs a chemical from the DuPont family. DuPont. Yes, the DuPont family. Then it would take them another 15, 20 years to develop the synthetic fiber, which would then be the strongest fiber in the world. The strongest natural fiber in the world is hemp.
That's 4 facts right there.
Yeah, so hemp. Let's see. Every ship that sailed the sea up until the invention of the steamship was masted rigged with hemp rope rigging. Yeah. USS Constitution, the flagship of the United States, has 60 tons of masks of hemp rig roping right now. You're required by law to grow hemp through all the colonies. Slave migration. Most people believe that your slave ancestors were picking cotton. The facts are that there's a picture in the history books and it shows a cotton gin, and it would show some slaves standing around a cotton gin, and what was behind them looked like bales of hay. Now, cotton only grows 3 feet, so how is the bales of hay taller than the slaves? It's because that was hemp, and that was a decorticator, not a cotton gin. And the most labor-inducive crop during the colonial times is hemp, not cotton. And that's where your peoples went. So Kentucky, Tennessee, West Virginia, Virginia, these were hemp producing states, and that's where the greatest slave migrations went. The Declaration of Independence was written on hemp paper, right? Now, the pictures that you see are in Philly when they wrote it. They were all smoking pipes, and every last one of them were hemp farmers. Hemp is cannabis. What were they smoking? Tobacco? How creative would they be to write that paperwork that still exists today?
They was on another level.
It's on another level. Right. It was high shit.
That's like that start shooting.
It was high shit. You know, to think of the stuff, to think of some of the things in which that is written in those documents. Now, those documents didn't really include us.
Those blacks are people.
But we were,
people.
they didn't include us, but they didn't know that one day that the document would include us. But the stuff that was written. But at the end of the day, they were all hemp farmers. Everyone was. Cannabis.
You saying it was high as hell to call us 3/5 of a person?
Yeah. So some facts about cannabis. Flour. You get relief from flour. Oil gives cure. So oil, concentrated form of cannabis, is curing ailments. Flour gives one relief. So you smoking flour, you're getting relief for your ailments. You're not curing them.
How do you feel about this cross sector between cannabis and sports and what you see now, the NBA?
Oh yeah, it should have been going on. Eugene Monroe's the first guy. Eugene Monroe, former NFL player, Ravens, Jaguars. He's the first active player to come out for the plant. I know NFL players that smoke cannabis, like heavy, and they smoke during the off season. They smoke during the season because there's only a little window in which that they get tested at, and they don't really care once they pass that window. So they smoke, and they say we would rather smoke, and now they're allowed to, but they would rather smoke for their ailments than be doped up.
What about the
I've had 6 back surgeries. I would be a heroin addict if I listened to the doctors.
No, that's right.
I would be a heroin addict. The amount of oxys, I had like prescriptions of oxys, bro. I mean, so many prescriptions, I didn't fill them, and they thought I was lying about my injury because, oh, you're not in pain because you're not taking the pills. I don't take the pills. I use cannabis. What? Well, you know, how you feeling today? What's your pain level? Like, my pain level for tolerance is way high, but had I listened to them, I would be a heroin addict because they wouldn't exist. You know, we got this opioid crisis that they talk about. 110 die a day, overdose from opioids. But the only reason it's a crisis is because it's Lil Ray Ray in the hood didn't really care about, but Raymond, they do care about. All right, so Raymond's the reason why, because he stole grandma's Xanaxes and OD. All right. And then they can't afford the pills anymore, so what do? They go to heroin. So you got a 16-year-old heroin addict, you know, and Betty Ford ain't gonna do nothing with him.
Continue to talk big picture. You're talking big picture, man. You compare MSOs to like
Easy Pass toll booths.
You said MSOs are like Easy
Damn
Pass,
right.
and dispensaries are like the toll booths.
Why is that? Easy Pass. They got an Easy Pass through legalization, so the MSOs have medical most of the time already within the state. Then they put a stall on the state's program because they really don't want anybody involved but them when the state goes to recreational. And then for 2 years, there's been nothing but the medical mids that was the medical mids in the recreational market with the same growers growing it. So they've had an easy pass, and the dispensaries have been the toll booths. Booth being booth, not booth. Booth with an F. Yeah, booth.
What's the difference?
That's swag. They're medical mids. They some mid-smoking motherfuckers. You're damn right. That's what I call them. They're mid-smokers.
That's for real. Okay, let's wrap this thing. Let's take this thing all home. You started. You have a background in law. What caused you to switch professions and pivot into cannabis advocacy? And who? Yeah, that's my first question.
Well, I had a law firm from age 23 to 35 in DC, my wife and I. And I had to grow in the basement of the law firm at the time. So all of my clients are canna friendly. I was smoking before they came.
Sounds like a great practice.
Yeah, so you come in and your initial consultation, and I'll smoke like 30 minutes before you come. So when you come in like, and then the receptionist will be like, oh yeah, one of the owners has serious back surgeries, back condition, and he meds up with cannabis. If that's a problem, we'll refund you your money. And like I've had people walk out, like 5 people, but all the rest of them, but if they had known what live plants smell like, yeah. But what happened was Tommy Wells was a council member. Every summer we used to do this network function, a 1 mile radius. So 1 mile radius of our law firm, we would invite all of the businesses, and within the 1 mile radius of small businesses, and then we would invite SBA and all the banks to come and bring all the resources together for all the small businesses. So most people don't know about the grants and the money and that's available, or through SBA, the SCORE program and things of that nature. There's people that are in the profession that are retired, that are doing what you're trying to do, and they give free mentorships. So we did that. Tommy Wells was the council member for Ward 5 that would show up every time. Tommy Wells also brought forth the decrim of cannabis into DC to change it to a $100 fine. Then he went to change the $100 fine to a $25 fine because the $100 fine was still disproportionately disadvantaged, still hurting the disadvantaged people in which the decrim was to help. Tommy Wells ran for mayor. He wouldn't take no corporate funds, so we offered our firm to do a function for him. At that function, he told me about these guys that were putting together this initiative. He just didn't know who the fuck he was talking to. He knew me as the business owner or the owner of the law firm. So he told me about this Initiative 71, and that he had already did the decrim, and he was working on the decrim to get it 25, but he said there's something new. It's Initiative 71. It's going to give the right to grow, and it's going to change the law here in DC to make it legal for cannabis. That was just the red, like, teaching, the flags go up, and my wife gave me a opportunity to do what I love to do. I went at the law firm because somebody had stole over $200,000 from my wife right before we were getting married. I've been married 20 years, November. So that's why I stopped selling real estate and actually went to run the law firm. It's not something that I love to do it, but it wasn't something that I was super passionate about. It's my wife's baby. She knew what I was passionate about, so she said, yo, if you don't want to do this no more, go do what you want to love to do. So I did. I stepped down ownership. I took no money from, so no embezzlement charges could come back if this was going to go awry. And I took the grow and I gave it to the city for free. The law allowed me to give cannabis away to anybody over the age of 21. What I saw was that we were still getting arrested on the south side of the city where I lived at, even though the law had changed. Still disproportionately getting arrested, so we must not know the law.
What city is this in?
This is in DC. So this is 14 going into 15. I entered an edibles competition that my friend encouraged me to enter because I was making edibles for myself, for my bag, not to like sell to anybody. They were super hash oil potent. Nobody was even infusing with hash oil then. So like I knew it was way stronger than anybody's stuff. But I won the edible competition, and then people wanted the edibles. So rather than sell them the edibles, which the law didn't allow me to do, I gave them away. I created Free Treat Friday. And then Free Treat Fridays, spawned into what you know as the pop-ups. The vendors that are the initial vendors were in my lines getting the free treats. They saw the opportunity. I told them I'm not going to sell to them, but I'm not a blocker. And they described me in DC as before there was a pop-up. So pop-ups started on the East Coast in DC. Pop-ups themselves. They described me as before there was pop-ups, there was Scroger. That's just it. But I took the plant and I used the plant from there. I used the plant to bring awareness to other issues. So the .orgs are in the city, so I'll go to the national.org. Autism Speaks, Bike to the Beach. I got a whole bike team. Cannabis Sees No Color. We bike just like Bank of America, just like Carfax, just like everybody else.
Who is your target audience, and why is it important for you to spread this knowledge?
The have-nots. So people that consume this plant, right? That aren't, and they're only consuming. That aren't thinking about a business, are cotton pickers. Today's cotton picker. Cotton picking, consuming a product you can legally produce. We already built this country picking cotton and growing hemp. And there was indentured service at the time too, so I'm talking to everybody. So you're either gonna produce a commodity, a service, or good in canna or hemp, or you're gonna be today's cotton picker. And then them billions that people are going to chase, 65% of that money is the African American $2 trillion buying power. So you're actually going after your own people's money. Chasing the dollar.
Two more questions for you. Where does the name DC Scroger come from?
DC, obviously, Scroger. Scrogging is a technique of growing. It's screen of green. It's an acronym. I do know how to spell. So, you know, people like it's not Scroger, it's Scroger. It's Scroger. 1G. And it's we're at limited plant count. So I create bonsai trees that are wide rather than tall. So the 6 plants is your child's bedroom. 1 plant, 1 light. Once I've shown you what's possible, then we can get down. But nobody can ever say that it's not 6 plants because you showed them it was 6. There's no plant count police. So no one's gonna come knocking on the door asking you how many plants you got, right? No one. Pepco, the power company, is not gonna call a spike on you either. They used to call if you had spikes. You not having snow on your roof is not an issue. You know, grow houses don't have snow on the roof. So obvious, like it's a grow house. Like, cause the house next door got, you know, a foot of snow and yours is bone dry.
Got here. We didn't ask you this. What do you think about social equity and how it is being utilized in different states and how it is targeting the people that it's supposed to benefit?
Social equity. The premise of social equity and how it was legalized is you can never write any discriminatory law. So social equity is based off of statistics of over-policing. Now, just so happens that the drug war was predicated on people of color. So when you talk about over-policing in urban environments, those over-policings would be disproportionately African American. So where it was where anywhere a license was given in that area, a social equity license would be awarded to a person that's from that area. The problem now is that we have regentification. So the old dope hole is no longer the old dope hole anymore. It's regentified. Barclays, you know. These areas in which social equity, the program itself, you know, they might not like me saying this, but it's a complete failure. Tookie Blunt is the first actual social equity licensee ever Blunt some more. He's a friend of mine out of Oakland. How many people with social equity licenses have to sell their soul to cash in? So you give him a license, but you're dangling the carrot in front of him. And then you don't got the money to do it, so now you wind up being predatory and being succumbed to someone else's idea. And this is the facts. I'm not giving you $2 million and not having no control under your business. And you don't know what the fuck you're doing. What multi-million-dollar business you ran? Like, the work comes before the belief. So you gotta do the work and then they'll believe. Most people think they're supposed to believe you. How? And then successful business, have you seen a successful cannabis business? In order to be successful, you got to see success and failure. And success is when preparation meets the opportunity. Like, there is a difference. There's a big difference. The cannabis, corporate cannabis will always play catch up to me. They'll play catch up to the culture. I represent the culture of cannabis. I've been around this thing way before it was legit. Like, I risked a whole lot to even come out and say what I do.
Yeah.
But I'm not scared. I believe in what I do. So, like, others may not. I risk federal deportation. So when you talk about you're gonna go to jail, I'll go to jail and get deported. I'm the one that built the 51-foot doobie at the White House. Them 51-foot doobies, I built them shits. But I'm an advocate first. Like, I'm for the people, period. If you're not for them, you're against them. I invest in people, not their pockets. But like, what happens is you talk to people that have no clue on the business side of this. They ain't never been to no farm. Like, period. Oh, they took a visit to a facility that's a booth factory. I see them all the time, even in your state. I don't care about that. That's a booth factory. That's not fire. Look at them Rockwell cubes right there. They're synthetic growers. You can't compete. And I'm not trying to compete. I can only service a certain amount of clients. So with the facility, you can only service a certain amount of clients. With 10,000 square feet, I can service 4,000 people. New York licenses is 4,000, 2,000 to 4,000 clients. So there'll be a list, and once you're on the list, that's it. Everyone else is on the waiting list, like you waiting for season tickets and shit.
This is the future of blue and yellow.
Yeah, well, I can only service 4,000 people. I'm into clients, not customers, and they're 34 to 35, right, to 55 years old. There are no youngins. I'm not even worried about you. You'll be lucky to smoke the trees. You'll be lucky to get the hash.
And that demographic, well, I mean, this is my last serious question. And because you were talking about earlier how you can tell what people would like to buy and that's what you're able to offer them. I specifically wanted to know, it sounds like with that model, you're offering people more than just one strain of weed when they come to purchase.
Yeah, there's nobody on this coast that got a better lineup than me. Not even the dispensaries.
How can you make that?
In nursery. I don't hunt for, when I hunt pop beans,
Right.
I don't look for girlfriends. Most people are looking for girls. I look for wives. And my wife got sister wives. She's got about 40 of them now. And she used to get upset when I would pop new beans because she knew what it took. She knew that it was a 2-year process before I would select her. So that meant I was going to be spending more time with them plants than I was going to be spending with her. All right? But she understands now, but it wasn't always like, she's so supportive. I wouldn't be doing this, and I wouldn't be in a relationship with anybody if I wasn't in a secure marriage. Nobody would put up with me. They wouldn't.
It's my last question for you. It's a very unserious question. Does DC Scroger have a favorite stoner movie?
Stoner movie?
Yes.
I got a few.
All right, let's get it. Top 3. Go ahead.
Top 3. Dazed and Confused. How High, and then Half Baked. So those would be it right there. I like Cheech and Chong's, the old Cheech and Chong's. But yeah, those would be it. The Half Baked because the Samson is Branson in that, and I know Branson, so it's like that's like a play on. That was a play on him. Most people didn't pick that up even back then, but I did. I've been around this for a while.